Breaking the cycle of a toxic or narcissistic relationship is not easy, but it is possible. The first step is recognizing that the cycle exists. Many people spend years confused about what happened to them because they were never taught about emotional manipulation or psychological control. When someone enters your life pretending to be kind, supportive, and loving, it is natural to trust them. But over time, that same person may slowly begin to drain your energy, confidence, and peace. This is how the cycle often begins. At first, everything feels exciting and intense. You believe you have met someone who truly understands you. Then little by little, things begin to change. You may start questioning yourself, feeling responsible for their behavior, or trying harder to make the relationship work. Meanwhile, your boundaries slowly disappear. Many people who go through this experience develop something known as a trauma bond. This happens when emotional attachment forms through cycles of kindness and hurt. Even when the relationship becomes unhealthy, you may still feel pulled toward that person. You might remember the early version of them and hope that side of them will return. But in many cases, that early stage was simply a temporary performance, not their true character. One of the most important things to understand is this: it was not your fault. People who manipulate others rarely reveal their intentions in the beginning. They present a carefully crafted version of themselves that makes it easy for you to trust them. By the time the unhealthy patterns become obvious, the emotional connection is already strong. Breaking the cycle requires creating distance. That means stepping away from the emotional, physical, and sometimes financial connections that kept you tied to the situation. This distance allows your mind to slowly clear and your confidence to rebuild. The healing process takes time. It is not something that happens overnight. In fact, recovery can feel uncomfortable at first because it requires facing difficult emotions and reflecting on what happened. Many people find healing through journaling, learning about relationship psychology, speaking with professionals, or simply giving themselves quiet time to process their experience. During this period, it is common to want answers or closure from the person who hurt you. Unfortunately, people who create these cycles rarely provide honest closure. Waiting for them to explain their actions or admit their behavior can keep you stuck in the past. Real closure usually comes from your own understanding and acceptance of the situation. Another challenge is the idea of staying friends. Sometimes the person who caused the harm may suggest remaining in contact. While this may sound harmless, it often keeps the emotional door open and makes it harder to move forward. Creating healthy boundaries is essential for rebuilding your life. Something important also happens during recovery. As you learn more about healthy boundaries and self-respect, you begin to see relationships differently. You may notice behaviors you once ignored or tolerated. This new awareness can feel overwhelming at first, but it is actually a sign of growth. Healing does not follow a strict timeline. Some people recover quickly while others take longer depending on their experiences and how deeply the relationship affected them. Try to rush the process usually creates more pressure. True healing happens when you give yourself patience and space. Over time, the distance from the situation brings clarity. The emotional fog begins to lift. The person who once seemed powerful over your life begins to lose that influence. What once felt impossible starts to feel manageable. Breaking the cycle is a personal journey. No one else can walk it for you, but many people have gone through it and come out stronger on the other side. With patience, self-reflection, and healthy boundaries, it is possible to rebuild your confidence, restore your peace, and create a life that is no longer controlled by someone else's behavior. The process may be challenging, but every step forward is a step toward freedom and a stronger version of yourself.